So today we're gonna discuss about three important things. So we can have sensor, right? We can have sensor. First topic is this. Second thing is we can have camera, right? Camera module to take different kind of images from the camera. So I'll try to uh, showcase whether how can we have webcam inputs through Raspberry Pi, and how can we collect couple of images, how can we build some programs on those kind of inputs from the cameras. Also we have couple of pre-inbuilt machine learning modules also available, or kind of library available in the Raspberry Pi or in Python, right? So we can use those kind of library. My voice is clear, right? Let me get the input from your side, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have couple of screens today, so please don't get confused with this particular screen rotation. Yeah, so please give me your feedback in between if you don't get my voice, or kind of topic if you don't understand that. So today uh, we're going to discuss about these things, and the third is email notification, right? Also we'll try to have cloud, like yesterday we did use ThingSpeak, so we'll try to merge that also today. And yeah, we can have analytics also, analytics of sensor value.
Saurabh, sir, screen is not visible. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever you are presenting is not visible.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to share now. Yeah, wait please, sorry. I hope now it should be visible.
Yes, sir. Now it is visible.
Thank you so much, sir. It was important feedback actually. Otherwise, I could have spoken a lot. Thank you, sir. So what I have written, and this was this one. Yeah. So the first topic which we're going to discuss about sensor, camera, email notification. It is notification. Yeah, and cloud, the same one. ThingSpeak. So how can we send some data of sensors or camera modules, or kind of maybe pin codes or random codes, right, from Raspberry Pi to any particular email ID or to any cloud. Then analytics of that particular data, whatever is being sent from the Raspberry Pi. If suppose if I'll just make you a small clarity with this kind of diagram, right? So suppose I have a user here. Let me change this. Yeah, suppose I have a user here, and this user has a laptop, right? So on this laptop screen, he wants to have the analytical report of the Raspberry Pi, which is placed somewhere at the far distance. Suppose I have placed this Raspberry Pi, connected with couple of sensors, connected with couple of devices. Maybe I have connected my machine, right? Lathe machine, drill machine, maybe nowadays 3D printer machines are quite familiar. So these machines takes a lot of time to just finish the task. Suppose I want to have the analytical report of these kind of external peripherals of Raspberry Pi connected with these kind of sensors or devices. So I want to send this information to this particular computer, but it's not possible directly, right? It's not possible directly. So we should have something in between, and that is what we were talking about the cloud yesterday. So this was, suppose we are talking about this cloud as ThingSpeak, right? So ThingSpeak will collect some data which is coming from Raspberry Pi, and this data will be analyzed on this computer. So yesterday, if you remember what had happened, so we had a mobile screen. This was user, right? This was user, right? And this was Raspberry Pi. This was cloud. So user was sending information first, right? And then this cloud was scanned by this particular Raspberry Pi. This was Raspberry Pi, right? Today this process is totally reversed. Now this Raspberry Pi is going to send some data to cloud. Also that particular data will be scanned by this computer. So it is in both ways. Understood, right? So yesterday we were sending information from either mobile phone or computer, right, to cloud, and then cloud to Raspberry Pi. We were scanning that, and with that scanning, we were trying to operate, you know, LEDs or bulbs, right? So today this process is totally different. It is totally in reverse direction, right? So understood this thing, right? Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So let's see how we can build this particular kind of model, right? So we will have cloud in between. We will analyze the report of the sensors, right, or kind of camera module or other, you know, data which we are going to send from Raspberry Pi. So if you remember, we had of sensor or any module, right? So we had a library called random. If you remember, yesterday I was talking about random library, right? So we had two three functions over here. So that was R, if I'll import random, right, random as R dot random was the function through which, you know, a particular random value will be coming every time, right? If you want to get any particular value in between, suppose there's a function called randint, right? If you want to get the value from, suppose, 30 till 50, right? So this could be your temperature from the body. This could be the temperature from your body, right? So if you know, we want to just measure the temperature from the human body, what if right now I'm considering that any value which is coming in between this particular, you know, range from this randint, right, will be stored in a variable called d, suppose, and I want to send this value of d to any particular cloud, right? So I'll tell you whether how to get the data from sensors. I'll consider that if the value of that sensor, however, I don't have temperature sensor right now, so I'll have only digital sensors, because Raspberry Pi, if you remember, I was talking about the number of pins, right? So we have already seen here we had only digital pins, right? So GPIOs, all these are digital pins, so we cannot have analog sensors, you know, connected with these pins. So few sensors are available which are automatically digital, like one sensor is there that is called as DHT11, that is digital humidity and temperature sensor, and there are two different sensors with you know, with respect to accuracies, right? So we have DHT11, DHT22 also, right? So we can have a temperature sensor, like if you'll see this particular screen, in this you know, screen, we have a couple of sensors here, and all these sensors could be either analog or digital. Few of them would be digitally programmed already. So suppose I'm talking about this ultrasonic sensor. So we have IC over here. With this IC we have a small protocol. With this protocol we can collect some data, right? We can collect some data of this particular sensor of ultrasonic, and the reading of this particular sensor would be telling us about the distance of an object from the sensor. So if we'll place this sensor at our car, at the back side of our car, so we'll get to know about the distance of our car from the backside wall, backside objects also, backside cars also. Likewise, while parking the cars, these kind of sensors are in use, right? So couple of other sensors. This is for gas, right? You can sense alcohol also. You can sense the alcohol conditions from the sensor. This is for DHT11. This is the actual DHT11 sensor which I was talking about, digital humidity and temperature sensor. This one is the analog. This one is the a digital sound sensor, right? So all such sensors maybe, see, this one is the LM35, which is temperature sensor, and this one is the last corner one is the pulse sensor, heart rate sensor, you can say, right? So all such sensor could be either analog or digital. So we can only interface digital sensor with this Raspberry Pi directly. So if you want to interface analog sensors, for that you need to have ADC first, right? So ADC is nothing but a kind of small module or a kind of small IC or mechanism. There are a couple of mechanism available for converting your analog value to digital. There are logics like, or there are concepts like ladder to ladder or digital ICs, comparators, or maybe op-amp, operational amplifiers are available. We have couple of operational amplifier like LM358. These kind of IC directly converts your data from analog to digital, right? And every digital data could be in different kind of resolution, right? So I'm not talking about that conversion of analog value to digital. Right now we are talking about digital data directly, right? So this is what we are going to discuss about. So we going to discuss about the input from the sensor. And today I'm at different place. I'm in Gurgaon right now. So showing you the connection, like yesterday, if you remember, I was showing you some part of connection from the camera that would not be possible today. So I'll make some connections over here. I'll try to display you the connection from this paint image, right? Also you'll get the answer, you'll get the kind of notification or kind of outputs on the Raspberry Pi screen itself, right? So I carried this Raspberry Pi with me today also, but that camera which I was placing on the Raspberry Pi is not possible today. So I'll show you something in practically how to connect sensors, how to get data from sensors also, right? So let us directly start with the practical implementation right from the sensor itself, right? So one by one we'll try to complete everything, right? So let me start with the first program of sensor. Like till yesterday we were discussing about digital output, right? We were discussing about digital output. Today we're gonna discuss about digital input also. Suppose I'm going to create new file, that is new program, right? So for any Raspberry Pi program, we need to import rpi.gpio as, suppose, rp.set_mode within bracket, rp.board, right? Then rp.setup within bracket, pin number 7s rp.in, right? So I'm going to use the same pin. I can use pin number 17, pin number maybe 11, pin number 13, any pin, right? Whichever you like to connect with the sensor. So I'm going to connect one particular sensor, any sensor, right? Let me show you. Suppose I'll just clear it. So what if I'm talking about infrared sensor? We have infrared sensor, we have sound sensor, we have light sensor, right? So we have read sensor, like in security systems in your home. Suppose if you place, this is your door, right? This is your door. Here on the top of the door you have placed a particular magnet, right, with the door and with your static side of the door, right? Here on the edge of this particular static side of the door you have placed one particular read switch, right? So read switch is nothing but the magnetic sensor, right? So this read switch detects whether magnet has come close to this particular read switch or not, and there should be a distance of only few millimeters here. So if millimeter distance will be there, so then you will get notification from the sensor as 1, otherwise 0. So this is your read switch, right? You can have light sensor also. There is a sensor called LDR. Let me write the name. IR sensor is there, infrared sensor. LDR is light dependent resistor. This is your light sensing device, right? You can sense the color also from this. If you want to sense, suppose LIDAR sensor is also there. You can sense the color also. Either it is black, red, white, blue, right? You can sense the color also, right? There are different mechanism of sensing such kind of things, right? So LDR, IR, you have read switch, you have sound sensor. You might have seen some small toys of the children's, where if you'll just clap once, some sound will be coming from the toy, right? So with the same thing, if I want to clap once and I want to operate a kind of mechanism where LEDs or appliances my home, or the light, suppose I enter to my room and I clap once. One clapping once means your light in the room will be on, and clapping twice together will be it will have a meaning of closing or offing your lights, right? So such in such a way we can program with these kind of sensors, right? So I want to also, we have DST11, but these DST11 or other sensors, suppose we have LM35 analog sensor, we have pulse sensor. There are a number of, I'll not name all of them, right? So these sensors, all these sensors are digital, and these sensors are not digital, right? They cannot be interfaced directly while with one single pin to get the input and output, right? So all such sensors may have some protocols with them. So every single sensor which they would have protocol associated with them would require some different libraries, other than RPI.GPIOs. So like yesterday I told, GPIO library can only handle directly in digital inputs, right? So let's see how we can have how can we interface IR sensor. IR sensor detects the input, detects the a kind of interruption which is coming, or a kind of object is coming across the IR sensor. Suppose this is your IR sensor, it would have three pins. It would have three pins here, and these pins are, suppose, input pins. This is your output pins, and the last one is ground pin, right? GND. This is the configuration of all three pins. This is your first one is input, which means 5 volt, ground means 0 volt, and output means, now you can get output either as 1 or 0 because it is digital sensor. So IR sensor would have IR transmitter as one of the LED and IR receptor as one of the LED. So what happens, and these IR sensors are similar IR sensor. These are the IR transmitter receiver which are available for night vision cameras also. In our TV remote, in our remotes of any kind, maybe your AC remote or any other appliance remote, every single remote nowadays which is working inside the home, inside the building, right? So will be always working on IR itself, IR radiations only. So one LED which never blinks. We used to pretend like it is never blinking, right? So that sensor is a kind of IR transmitter. So IR transmission cannot be seen by naked eyes. Suppose this is your transmitter. So transmitter will transmit some rays in forward direction. Similarly, this particular receptor will receive, if anything will come across this sensor. Suppose this is my hand. This is my hand. Suppose this is the wall. If you are placing this sensor, at the back side of your car, so while parking your car, you can sense the wall also, right? So suppose this wall is coming. Nowadays sanitizers, automatic hand sanitizers machines are available. What if you are placing this sensor just on the machine to detect your hands, and automatically sanitization should be coming out? Because nowadays if you are having sanitizing bottle, you need to press the neck of this particular bottle, right, from the top. So every person who is coming to just sanitize their hands need to press their press that particular neck by their hands, right? So there is a physical touch. If you want touchless sanitizing machine, right, so we have built the product of this particular machine also. We have built couple of other products as well. So what if you want to sense the object over here? So as soon as your hand will come here, some reflection of this particular ray will get back to this particular receptor again, right? So what if this amount of reflection is quite enough? As soon as if you'll take your hands closer to this particular transmitter or sensor, I'm sure amount of reflection will be more. if your hands are quite away from the sensor, the amount of reflection will be less, right? So because of the amount of reflection from the sensor, this this receptor will convert amount of energy in light or photons into voltage, right? Into voltage, which is called as sensors. Sensors are nothing but the transducers. Sensors are transducers. Sensors are transducers, which means they convert non-electrical quantity to electrical quantity, right? So we got voltages from this particular receptor. Now what if I have voltage comparator, I would say. So this voltage which is coming from this receptor will go into this particular IC. I have already I have already given another V2. This V2 is nothing but a particular predefined voltage. I have given this as 2.5, right? So this 2.5 voltage I have already given to this particular second pin of this IC, and whatever amount of return from the sensor is coming back from this receptor, if it will generate the amount of voltage greater than 2.5, right? So we would have comparison between this V2 and V1. V1 is coming from the receptor, right? So if V1 is greater than V2, then you would receive 1 on this output pin. If V2 is greater than V1, then you would receive 0 from this pin, right? So what if I'll connect this pin, output pin, with Raspberry Pi on pin number 7, right? So this is what I have made the connection already. Can you understand that? Just try to give me a response if you have understood this connection. Please let me know. Everybody, is that clear? Okay, thank you. So we got connection in such a way. Also we found that anyways, whenever I'll take my hand closer to the sensor, automatically 1 will be coming, otherwise 0 will be coming, right? So 1 or 0 is nothing but high and low voltages. So we need to sense whether 1 is coming from the sensor or 0 is coming from the sensor, right? So let us see how to sense. So we have already made pin number 7 as input, and I have connected one LED also. Suppose I have connected that LED on setup pin number 11, right? rp.out. So LED is an output device and sensors are input devices, right? So I have connected an LED so that LED must be clone, otherwise that LED should be off if my hands are not closer to the sensor, right? So if object detection will be there, then LED must be giving the indication. So hypothetically, please try to believe me. Then whenever I'll take the input from the sensor, automatically that particular LED will be blinking, because I don't have camera to show you up to date, right? So let me have, but you'll get some kind of notification, don't worry. So while 1, just to sense it regularly for infinite loop, right? Let me sense it. So if I'm sensing some data, that is rp.input. Remember, like there were two commands, rp.output, rp.input, to take input from the sensor. So if I'll get any input from the sensor, rp.input from the 7 pin number 7 as equal to 1, which means if we are getting 1, then rp.output pin number 11 should be 1, which means LED will be blinking, or LED will be glowing, not blink, right? So print, let me show hand is detected, right? Or object is detected, not hand, it can be any object also. So let me write object is detected, right? Then else, right? Else, if you can write else, or you can write rp.input within bracket 7 is equal to 0, because if 1 will not be there, will not be present, will not present over there, or the detection will not be there, then anyhow the another output which can come from the DSL pin would be 0 always, right? So rp.output from pin number 11 will be 0, LED will be off. So on the same context we can write print a statement also, no object found, right? So let us see how can we get the kind of response from this program, right? So I'll take your queries just after this, and then we'll move on to know other part also, right? So so I'm saving this program now. Let me save this program in a desktop, on the desktop itself. So I made the name object detection using IR, right? Test 1 2 3. This is what I have given the name of this particular program. The program is quite simple, the program is quite small, but due to this program, I'm not telling whether this is the IR sensor or sound sensor, right? So you can place any digital sensor through which you want to detect the inputs, right? It can be any sensor which is digital, which is giving digitally as 0 or 1, right? So let me save this program and run this program to check whether some kind of outputs are coming or not, right? So object is detected, my sensor is already keeping towards table side, so I'll keep it away from the table side. So just give me a minute, right? So I'll go to my Pi board, because wirelessly I've connected my laptop to Raspberry Pi, right? So just give me a small time so that I can keep my hand towards the sensor, and you'll detect what kind of outputs are coming, right? So give me a minute, please. Can you see can you see that, right? So if I am keeping my hands away from the sensor, then it is showing you that no object is found. Otherwise, if I'll keep my hands towards the sensor, if I'll keep that sensor in my hand itself, so it is giving me object is detected, right? So whenever 0 or 1 is coming up from the sensor, right? So you're detecting this automatically as 1 or 0, 1 and 0, 1 and 0, right?